Hey guys, my name is Looney, and this is the third time that I'm giving you guys a world tour of my hardcore world. I've been playing in this world for 5,250 Minecraft days. If we go to statistics, that is 72.72 days. This is unplanned, nice coincidence. In total, that is 1,745 hours. I've only slept 66 times in the world. And in all those waking days, we have done a great deal. Now, normally this world tour starts at my world spawn, but today we started by hitting this lever. For those of you that have been around for a little while, you know that this triggers the fireworks setup at the Nether Hub. And those fireworks, they have come to be something quite special. The whole thing is automated on timers. Sometimes we get hit. Sometimes we hit a wall. But if we don't, we can see a lot of crazy special effects going on here. These are snowballs that are shot through lava. And here we have a lot of dispensers shooting up firework rockets on different timers. I have come to love this place. And recently we celebrated 5,000 Minecraft days, which was a really special moment. Now, before we fly around the actual Nether Hub, I want to quickly set up the fireworks because we have a little bit of a lag issue if the whole setup is running. You guys can imagine why. That's all good. Let me switch the shaders as well, because this Nether Hub is actually designed for slightly different shaders that will give us much better visibility over longer distances. Now, a lot of the builds around my world, and this is far from the only one, they are designed for specific shaders because different shaders bring out different aspects in the game. And the reason that this shader is the one for Nether Hub is it is really clear, but it has a powerful light and dark contrast. As you can see, light design is an important feature in my builds, and there is a lot of contrast between lighter and darker areas to bring out some of the details. We fly around the Nether Hub, we will find a magma biome over here. We have a custom crystal biome that's still being built up. Lots of forests to simulate height differences in the terrain. We got a nether meteor over here. The Heart of the Flame gemstone and Brutus, the lava squid, around here. And a volcano on a timer that will actually erupt every 5 minutes, shooting a rain of flaming snowballs up into the air. Around this side, we find another forest, a crystal biome, a soul sand valley with a custom basilisk fossil, and another forest around the front. Now, the Nether Hub is the project we've built between 4,000 and 5,000 game days, and this is what we use to travel around the entire world. On streams, you will see me fly through this place all the time. And there's different nether portals, like this one, hidden around the build to go to different overworld builds. To get back to the main base, the Heart of the Sea, the one where it all started and where I've been building since day 60 or so in the world, all the way to day 1400. We are going to find it by going through here. Now, this portal doesn't take us directly to the Heart of the Sea because we are going to take a little bit of a detour past the end statue. Project that we built between 3,000 and 4,000 days, and the one that is probably, out of everything so far, the most challenging build. Now, if we go internal shaders, which is the vanilla game shaders, a little bit brighter and more vivid due to Optifine, but no different special effects. This is Stronghold portal room. We got pillars with Enderman here, and again, a lot of light and dark contrast. This one has been designed for Zeus Renewed. The reason that we designed it for Zeus is that right when we go through the portal here, we are going to go to the end, and the end is also designed for Zeus Renewed. Zeus Renewed. If we go up here, we will find the portal that will take us to the end. This is the first end portal that I found in the world. I've got some questions previously, how I put this one up in the tree. And the answer is I really didn't. I built a room around it. So we mined out everything and then built a room so that the portal would end up on top of the tree. If we go through here, this is how we normally transition into the end. It will shoot us right through the portal, out until the end island, or the place that once was the end island. Because this place houses probably the craziest build in the world so far. This one is called the End Statue, and is based on my Minecraft character, with a flaming fire aspect sword and a channeling trident, shooting both flames and lightning across the sky. The entire end island has been bombed out of here with TNT flying machines, whereas the obsidian pillars were mined out by hand, and that took me a solid 20 hours to mine all of that. The Enderman Farm is currently located under the build. Now, people have asked me before what the end statue looks like without the shaders, and I will gladly show you right here. This one very much relies on the light-dark contrast. But that being said, I really like the look in vanilla shaders as well. It has a lot of movement, which was a challenging thing to get right. But I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. Now if we go through here, we get rid of the cinematic camera so we can move around a little bit again. This is the elevator shaft that drops us down into the basement. I want to go back into the shaders that is designed for, because this effect, this flashing tunnel, one of my favorite bits. The interior of the end statue currently hasn't been designed yet. Much like the Nether Hub, it's one of the projects where we've done quite a bit of exterior work, but we're gonna have to get back to it later. This here is the room we're gonna exit, but I want to show you guys the Enderman Farm real quick, which is currently located all the way under the build. Now we're gonna have elevators going there and a smooth transition. But currently, if we want to go to the Enderman Farm, we just jump down here, grab our sword, and start slashing. Simple as that. And then after we're done Enderman farming, we get to swim back up here. And then we can fly our way out through the same tunnel. Then when we go up here, we will get to where the dragon's nest is located. When you fight the Ender Dragon, in the middle of the island, you find the dragon's nest. And the dragon's nest is built out of bedrock. The top 3 bits of the pillar, we actually got rid of it. Because for the look that I wanted for this room, it was much better not to have those. You can use a trick with pistons and TNT to actually explode pieces of the bedrock, which we did. There's usually 3 here with the torches on top. And that made it so that I could kind of suspend the portal from the ceiling. This room is a place that I really enjoy. We go through this every single stream, with these wall designs quite intricate, and then this walkway with the yin and yang symbol on the bottom of the room. And if we jump through here, that will bring us to the heart of the sea. I'm going to switch the shaders to internal, because the heart of the sea, in its current shape, is the part of the world that is hardest to load in. There's a lot going on, and I think the most lag is generated by my chest room. So I'm going to get the chests out of here and replace them with barrels. We got a lot of pets here all around the place. Little azalea in a flower pot. And this here, this is the armor set that I used for the first 5,000 days in the world. And I now retired. I got a completely new armor set. To 10k, no cap, do the boom boom, sliding all the way to 10k and protecting my tummy. These all have curse of vanishing, as you can see. There's no other reason for that other than that it's kind of a joke. Because if I die in this hardcore world, I lose a lot more than just my armor set. Not much to worry about in regards to equipment back at that point. If we go through here, this will put us in the heart of the sea. The heart of the sea is the main base. And it's the main base that, because it is also my industrial district, it's called the heart of the sea, but at the same time the heart of the season. The center of my entire hardcore series. We got a guardian farm, which is what it's all built around. But here we also have a cocoa bean farm, recently installed a moss block and azalea farm. We got the azalea trees and moss carpets here. Over on this side, we have a pretty tall creeper farm. And you see a lot of redstone around the sides of the creeper farm. That is because I can turn the creeper farm off. The same goes for the guardian farm. Benefit of that is that I can decide which mob cap I want to use. Do I want all guardians in my mob cap or all creepers? Here in the corner, we're gonna build a slime farm, which currently isn't properly lit up, so sometimes we have some unexpected visitors, like these creepy boys. We got a bee farm over here, which so far has been producing honey bottles, lots of it. This is the guardian farm. Here we find the sugarcane farm, and these two together, they enable me to fly around the world. And I do that quite a lot, because if we go to items here and times crafted, I've used 145,000 rockets so far. I maxed out my Elytra travel distance a long time ago. This sorting machine is for the blast chamber, which produces basalt, converts concrete, and produces cobblestone. This is the output for the creeper farm. And over here, whoa, magma cube. Dude, I'm trying to tell a story here. I'm showing everyone around. Chill. Here we got the sea pickle farm. and a chorus flower farm, which I honestly haven't really used because it wasn't quick enough. For many materials, I feel like it is a better idea to actually go out into the world and gather the resource yourself, because I try to get the most out of my game time, and that means that I don't AFK any farms at all ever. To make that work, sometimes it is quicker to get your materials yourself. Here we have the Nether portal, which takes us up to the Nether Hub in the main hallway. We'll go through that later. Here we have a dragon skull as a reminder of that stream where we defeated 19 Ender Dragons in a row to unlock all the end gateways. Here we have Gerald, keeper of the conduits, protector of the loot, and every now and again we visit Gerald to have a slice of cake, because if we celebrate, we gotta share that celebration with Gerald. Gerald is, as I said, keeper of the conduits, protector of the loot, and that loot that he protects, to find that we have to go through this room, a little hidden room that leads into a little hallway, and the hallway goes to where Gerald is hiding his treasure. And there underwater, we find a lot of diamonds, gold, emeralds, and a little nether gold cave in the back. And this build here, Gerald's Treasure Cove, is the first time that I really played around with light contrast and shaders. And you can see that very well here underwater. Above the water you can see it as well, but some of these tentacles, they stand out, even though they're quite far removed from us. And then other ones, like there's a tentacle here, which you can barely see because there's no light on it. You can use background lighting or backlighting, which is a technique that happens a lot in photography, to bring these edges out a bit. So these sea pickles behind the actual tentacles, they make them pop out by adding that little edge of light. And that is a very, very powerful way of making things look more exciting than they otherwise would have. If we swim up here, you can see that from out here, that also very much applies. We have sea lanterns there behind Gerald's head. And I was very happy when I finished this build. That was the first one that I was like, oh, this is really, really cool. I'm happy with the way it turned out. If we go in here, we find the Mob Head Museum. The Mob Head Museum is where I keep track of everything I've done in the world. And by now there's quite a lot of crazy things there. If we go down here, we find a double winding staircase that will take us all the way down to the bottom. And there at the bottom, there are two wings to the museum. Over here, first, we have Purple Fox, a iron enchanted baby zombie. I think he's 3/4 enchanted? He is. And a aquarium with lots of cool stuff. Recently, we added glow squid in here. And that is a different kind of quality. Where are they? You guys are gonna have to take my word for it. But this aquarium is a place I really enjoy. We got a trident over here. And then if we go down this hall, which usually we can't fly, we find the first museum room. This is a place I really cherish. It's where I got my first mob heads. And when I made this room, I had no idea what the world would turn into. We made a little art installation here called Raindrops that rains lapis, cycles it back through the floor, the wall, the ceiling, and then sorts it back out, distributes it along these droppers. Here we got all the music discs. I'm gonna munch on a little steak. And then here we have the two first rare mobs that I found. This one was really quite rare. He did not have the sword, but he had all the other pieces. And this one was the first one I found that was fully enchanted, all pieces, and I managed to capture. Here we have the dragon egg, she who ruled the world. And here we have the beginning of the mob head collection. The mob head collection got quite crazy. At this point we have more than, I think, it's a guess, definitely more than 1,500, probably more than 1,600 mob heads from thunderstorms. And this is probably the craziest collection, even though those mob heads are insane. This enchanted golden apples has 69, because right here I got 4, 64 is 68, and one more is 69 enchanted golden apples. We got that by exploring 100,000 by 55,000 blocks, looking for all the deserts I could find, and checking all the ruined portals on the way as well. Next, like in addition to the desert temples, that netted us, after 600 plus temples, the 69 enchanted golden apples. Then this room over here is the rare mob room, the beginning of the collection. Currently there's quite a lot of mobs sitting around the base. We got a diamond zombie and a diamond skeleton here. We got one of each armor type, but way back when I didn't look for fully enchanted only. After the collection became more and more complete, I started looking for fully enchanted versions of all mobs. And a lot of them are still looking for them. We got a drowned here with golden armor who used to be a zombie and that got converted. And somewhere over here, I think over there, no, somewhere over here, we got a guy with a trident wandering around as well. Trident man, where you at? Ah, here he is. Look at that. And this is one of my favorites. We got a fully enchanted golden baby husk. That's pretty nuts. Then if we go through here, this will take us to the dragon head room. One thing I still want to do is put zombies in this room with dragon heads on their head. But so far, we got end crystals and a whole bunch of dragon heads. Actually filled up the room. And I would like to have like guard mobs, guard zombies with dragon heads standing around here. If we take this elevator upwards, that will shoot us out right next to the heart of the sea. And from here, we're actually going to fly back to the Mob Head Museum. Because there's a whole nother wing to this place. And that wing is a place where we recently spent quite a bit of time to work. So there's a really cool construction project. But also, there's a world map. And not just any world map. 750 combined maps showing the entire overworld for 2,000 blocks around. And we go over this staircase that has a fish tank inside of it. And we pop out here. This is my overworld. I love this room. We got the heart of the sea right here in the middle. And then over this way, the Looney Adventure written out on a map. That is a project called Looneyville that we're going to visit in a minute. But before we go to Looneyville, I want to have a peek into this room. Now this room across here is still under construction. We're doing a lot of work currently. The whole room is going to be underwater. And the reason that it's going to be flooded is that it gives really cool light reflections. And to show you that, I'm going to go into Sue's Renewed shaders. While the room renders in, which usually takes a little while, over here, we got a art installation built out of 207 shulker boxes. Something special about these shulker boxes. I started this world on May 13 of 2020. And after exactly 1 year in the world, May 13, 2021, these are all the shulker boxes that I left randomly scattered around my world. On the birthday of the world, on the anniversary, we took all of those shulker boxes, brought them here, and without recoloring any of them, we built this installation out of them. I used exactly all the boxes I had and left none of them out. Another exciting thing we recently did is, and this would look way cooler if we get to load in the wall behind that. So this place here, it's gonna come. It's gonna come any moment. And last bit. Come on, Minecraft, you can do it. Great job. This will give you a feel for what this room is gonna become. Because this water mirror with all the glow squids is gonna be absolutely insane. Now, the ceiling for the room is going to be a different story altogether, because for the ceiling of the room, I have something really, really cool planned. And when we go into internal shaders, the Optifine standard ones, you can already see that I'm laying out the shape. This is quite a puzzle to get this right. But once this room is finished, it is probably going to be the coolest room in the world as far as interior goes so far. Now if we go back here, through this transition, we find the main mob head room. Here is where all the mob heads are, and I currently ran out of space to put them on the wall. So the next ones, they are going to go in that big hall that we were just working on, or that we are still working on, and I just showed you guys. We got a renegade zombie here that won't fly. My mob's house are currently turned down for the world tour. This room over here, this is where I've been collecting all the rare stuff. I got a lot of diamond armor from end busting. I think at this point 130 elytra. And if we go to statistics and look for shulkers, I've killed 2,989. I really like end busting, but if you're gonna retire 207 shulker boxes, you're gonna need quite a bit as well. So here we keep tridents, but also things like horse armor, which, due to all the golden apple hunting, the enchanted golden apple hunting, there are shulkers and shulkers and shulkers full of the stuff here. So this is like the treasure room. And then if we go down here, this is how we go to Looneyville. And that means we gotta hit this trapdoor over there. Pressure plate. And that will shoot us out into the sea. And right in range of Looneyville. We're not gonna need these, so let's get rid of them. Then if we fly this way, you will see the city of Looneyville. And by the time we're done with this place, it is going to have all the islands connected to the sea floor. Like it was pushed up from the ocean floor like a ridge line. But right now, we have about half of the city done as far as the basic layout for district goes. It will be a fully developed medieval city with the castle over here, the lighthouse, mid-income residential area, castle city slums. Then over here we have the crafts district currently under construction, the Looneyville Gardens. Right behind that is where we're gonna have Looneyville Elementary School. Or high school, I haven't made up my mind. Some kind of Looneyville school. And then here we have healthcare administration, Looneyville Villas, Richie Rich district, luxurious shops like the jeweler and the bank. And then here we have the trade district, the marketplace. And behind here we'll have industry and Looneyville Harbor. And all over Looneyville, we are going to have different nether portals that will all connect up to the Nether Hub. And that is one of the most exciting things. If we go up here, by the way, most of these builds, they don't have the interior yet, but some things have been built up. This here is the Hall of 1,000 Ghosts, because I haven't slept in the world since day 750. And during that time, I've killed a ton of phantoms, whose membranes all rain down there, except that the system is currently a little bit broken, so we're gonna have to revise that. This is what Looneyville looked like on a map a little while ago, and if we go back to the heart of the sea later on, I will show you what it currently looks like on a map. Now that I mentioned that, let's go through there and go to the Nether Hub through the portal at the heart of the sea. All of these places are pretty close together. Right here to our right, we have the old squid farm, which has been replaced by one that works a lot better. That one is quite far out. I don't think we're going to visit it today. For brevity's sake, we got to keep the world tour somewhat watchable. Can't make it all that long. If we go through here, we find the nether portal that will bring us back to the Nether Hub. And from that Nether Hub, I'm going to show you guys the Ice Castle. Ice Castle is a really fun place. It was a single build stream, and the Ice Castle is what we built to make these snowballs that are shot up here, make them work. And the Ice Castle is hidden in this portal over here. So if we fly in here, we will get to a snowball farm put together on one stream, because I had a snow golem, and then I asked everybody watching in the stream chat, do you guys want him to have a house? And somebody said Ice Castle. From that point, I couldn't go back. He is, unfortunately, the Royal Lord Chatterson 4, because his 3 predecessors all met an unfortunate end. I'm fully to blame for that. This here is the Ice Castle on a place that we call Mount Chattermore, after Chatterson. And just now, we started collecting powder snow here for the 1.17 advancement. Happened on the stream right before me recording this world tour. We go through here. We are quickly gonna hop back to the Nether Hub, and from the Nether Hub, we're gonna go out to the Fortress Farm. The Fortress Farm is one of the most important farms in the world, and it is one that provides us with bone meal, blaze rods, coal, a little bit of gold, some straight chain armor, which I'm collecting for museum purposes, but most importantly, wither skeleton skulls. In the world so far, I've defeated 137 withers, and we all fight these on top of the bedrock here, in fights where I aggro multiple at once, and I try to make that a challenge, but I also try to make it so that it isn't overly reckless. Because at this point, there's 1,745 hours of work to lose. Right here, we have a gold farm that I don't use all that often, and it is currently one of the only few farms that isn't covered up in a build. This one is just there, out on the nether roof. If we go over this way, and we follow this trail, we get to the Fortress Farm. And you might have noticed at this point that we fly over the nether roof, but there are holes in the bedrock made with pistons and TNT, and they will take us into the lower nether. Now, when we go there, I always make sure to have a fire res potion. And I was about to skip out on it, but I I almost never do that, and I shouldn't. And a golden helmet. Quick extra elytra, so we don't take any unnecessary risk. The golden helmet is so that piglins won't aggro. Now, I don't think we're going to get into a situation where a piglin could aggro, but there's no point in taking unnecessary risks. This entire area, you might not see it at first glance, but it is entirely spawn-proofed with red stained glass. I chose the red stained glass because it keeps the feel of the nether around it somewhat authentic, even though it becomes very eerie and quiet here. I did a pretty good job at spawn-proofing. Judging by the rates, there are probably still some blocks, like over here, where we get the occasional spawn, and that definitely harms the rates, but not to a point where the farm is not usable, because it actually does pretty well. If we flick this lever over here, mobs will start falling down. They are being collected by slime flying machines. Farm design of this one is by Nemble, and all the other farm designs, I will put them in the description so you guys can find them when you want to. And when these really start raining down, that's when we grab the looting and we start slashing here. I don't want to take too much XP here. Oh, that actually healed up the elytra perfectly. Before we get out of this exit portal, I'm gonna wait a couple seconds, just so that all the flying machines reset to their default position. If you go out of the chunks when the flying machines are still flying around, that is a way to break the farm, which I really wouldn't want to. Let's go through here. These guys, they will manage. They'll be fine. Then if we end up here, this portal's back in the overworld. And on a guess, we have to fly this way. Not exactly the opposite direction. This portal will take us back to the nether roof. They are quite close together, and it prevents, or it saves us one trip of flying through the nether, rather than having a safe exit on the outside. That link up happened a little bit accidental, but I've been using it consistently. Then if we go through here, we'll get back to the Nether Hub yet again. And I bet you guys have been wondering what the nether is like underneath the roof. We are about to find out. We are gonna dip down to the lower nether and find my spawn chunk. Because this world, that is now pretty big, even though everything is connected. It's all tied together using the portals, which is my absolute favorite thing about the world. That's the thing I love about it most. But it all started somewhere a long time ago. These portals currently go nowhere, but I will make sure to link up overworld builds to them. I put them there for symmetry, because on the other side we have that goes to the end, which is very important. Now, if we fly to the inside, there are a couple things inside the Nether Hub here. One of the things is, when I receive donations during streams, I keep track of everybody's name. And all these names, they end up here, on the walls of the Nether Hub, as a thank you. And here we have the super smelter. Really crazy thing, fueled by both of these bamboo farms. I was looking for a better word, did not find it. Bamboo farms that have the entire storage system for the super smelter backed up. So they are fully loaded and ready to go. And then over here, right in the middle, we made a small hole through the bedrock. And that leads to the lower nether, where there's a couple things. First off, we have this room. And as you can see, there's bedrock above. I've mined out this entire room. I'm gonna ignore these guys. This pillar here is how I first got up on the bedrock roof of the nether, by throwing an ender pearl at the highest block. And these lines over here are where all the lava buckets came from that are placed around the Nether Hub. All these lava buckets are placed by hand, and you can't use autofill like you can with water, which means that I carried up 31,000 lava buckets to make that work. From here I have to orient myself, but I think we go through here to go to spawn chunks. We do. In a tunnel over this way, there is a disengaged nether portal, a place that we haven't used in a long time and won't use ever again, that used to lead to the Stronghold portal room. It's here on the left in this little indentation. As you can see, I broke it. That one used to go to the Stronghold portal room and is now replaced by the other tower that I just showed right above it, same coordinates. And then if we go through here, there are two nether portals. There's one here, and then there's one here to the left where I mined out a big section of netherrack That netherrack was a building material I used for both the end statue and later... Guys, this is the first time I get to use this thing. When I first got out of the nether, I was really scared, so I built this little box to make sure I couldn't get hit by a ghast. Looking at you. Finally, that never had any use before. This is the first time that I got to dodge a ghast. These furnaces, there's still cobblestone in there. Wow. I use these to craft everything back to stone from what I mined down here. And down here is where I spent my first scared nights and did my first bit of strip mining. This goes all the way down to Y11. Very sloppy, weird staircase situation. And here on the left, there's a little lava pool there. And I got that with lava buckets. And all of that lava is what turned into my nether portal that is upstairs there. I cast it one lava bucket at a time. Lava, water next to it. Lava, water next to it. It was quite amazing. And then if we go through here, we find the first little farm. And here I have a little pillar. This is the estimated spawn block. This is where I think the world began. It can be off by 2 blocks, but not much more. After that first little moment of exploring and trying not to die, I tried to go this way, found a pretty extensive spruce forest, decided that that was probably not the best way to go. Doubled back and started following the river because it gave some easier access. Didn't go far at all, but from here I just went through the forest. And on the other side of the forest, I found a village. And that village was where my first villagers came from. They gave me my first enchanted books, the ones I needed to get Prot 4, my armor, and Unbreaking. Basically the ones to make sure that I didn't die early on. And right over here is where I got closest to death out of the entire hardcore series so far. This hole here is where Danny, my first horse, exploded. And I walked away with half a heart left on day 45. Over here is the first house. I set myself up with villager trades here. And I made a little makeshift sugarcane farm. Because I needed a bit of sugarcane to get the early rockets for my first elytra, my first end busting trip. That all worked out great. Because eventually we did end up here. We still got villagers in the basement here. They buy ink sacks and books. They sell name tags, which is what we still use, and they all have some sort of essential book. Protection 4 here, Unbreaking 3. This one has Depth Strider, I think, which I needed for my Ocean Monument build. Mending over here. And these guys somehow ended up in the same place. Silk Touch, and what do you have? Flame. I think the flame I just took because I thought it was useful, but I didn't really need it. We still got some trading materials here to negotiate our deals with him. We had an early game chicken farm, which I never really used. Early game AFK fishing farm, which I never used. I wanted to get Nautilus shells there, but it didn't work. So after 15 minutes of fishing, I felt like that was going to take way too much time. I didn't want to waste that much time. So I stopped it. And here we have a bunch of strip mining lanes from where I got my first diamonds. If we go back up here, there's still one place that I really want to show you. Because recently 1.17 came out. The best way to go about it is to put the helmet back on and go through the nether again. When 1.17 came out, I wanted to get a place where I could get all the new stuff from the new chunks. And to do that, I had to go quite far out. This is not where I wanted to fly out. It works. That may have been easier access. Nice. When 1.17 came out, I had to go quite far away. And I wanted to make sure to have a place where there were no new chunks. Now, I explored about 5,000 blocks to every side of my base. And then to the west, I did that 100,000 by 55,000 block exploration for the enchanted golden apples. And I purposefully did that on one side, so that on the east I had 3 chunks for later. Here we have the piglin bartering farm, which we've missed so far. That is going to be part of the finished Nether Hub interior later. But before we finish the Nether Hub, I want to finish Looneyville. That's really important. If we go over this way, we're going to find one of the most recent builds. Pretty small place, but pretty nice place too. Where I got my first 1.17 stuff. We found moss blocks there in a shipwreck. I found glowberries in a mine shaft. We even found the amethyst geode underground where I made my very primitive amethyst farming setup. for the beginning of the world, or like beginning of the next section in 1.17, I want to have amethyst available, but not that much. Later in the world, I do intend to dig out a bigger area for a witch farm, which is definitely going to be in 1.18 chunks. And that will mean that we have lush caves over there, and we have cool stuff like amethyst geodes surrounding the witch farm. So I can make a more intricate setup. But for right now, we have the vacation home. The vacation home is a beautiful place where we can kick back and relax from all the craziness. Underground here, I did some deep slate mining, etc. We can jump down there. We'll find a beacon and can go underground. And here I have my Kickstarter dripstone farm. We've been farming a little bit of pointed dripstone while we built the house up. And that gives me the stuff I need to set up a proper farm in a little while. This here is the vacation home. Now, this is the vacation home for a reason. Because for the past 14 months, I've been hard at work making this Minecraft world special and sharing that journey with you guys. And it's been an amazing treat. We have Mango here, Mango the dog, at the fireplace. And over here, if we go outside, you can see the vacation home. And you can see another beacon. We're gonna drop in on that beacon really quickly, because down there is my primitive, and I call these things Kickstarter farms. So this one is a primitive Kickstarter amethyst farm. And they are what I use to get some of the stuff before we build the intricate farming setup. This room is probably better in a shader. I'll turn it back. I like this. This is quite dramatic. This place we use to harvest these amethyst clusters. They all flow towards the middle of the room where we can pick them up. And the idea behind these places and why I decorate them is that when we find a room like this, during the course of me building up the decoration of the room, it kind of farms itself. So we get all these fully grown clusters, and then I start mining them from the top, just jump my way down, collect all the clusters in the middle, and they will form my initial supply before I make automated farms around a project where I will spend much more time, like, for example, that witch farm I mentioned. Now, that's a project for a little while from now, because for right now, between now and 6,000 game days, I'm gonna focus on getting Looneyville completed. That one needs a lot of work. Then we're gonna go to the Nether Hub for interior, the End Statue for interior, and only then, which is I think about 7,000 days, we'll start actually farming or building the next project, which is supposedly a witch farm, but nobody knows. Here we got a bunch of goats. They are called Mumbo, Grian, Filza, and Dream, because all these guys, in my perspective, did something very special within Minecraft as a video game scene. And they laid foundations that many people got to build upon. Now, myself included, which is absolutely insane. Right here, we got Mango. And over here, guys, I want to thank you for watching this as short as I could manage world tour. I will go into all the farms more in depth in a world tour later, so you can see more about it. But this, for the most part, was my entire world after 5,252 game days. Because those last 2 days, I just share it with you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you sometime soon on this loony adventure that we're on. For now, I'm checking out in the vacation home, because after about 14 months of grinding this world, I'm gonna go on a little trip, have a good time, kick back and relax, before, in a couple days from now, I'll be back and we pick it up with daily streams every day of the week, except for Monday. Until then, have the best of times. See you soon. Loony, out.